Yay! Thank you so much for joining us on our Sunday stream. It is so good to be here and to hang out with everyone. Yay! How's it going, Miss Hazel?
It's going really good. Just making the musics and one day at a time. The year's been a little nuts, but still making art and still got all the plans, and we've got some plans. So it's
Yes,
exciting.
we do. We
Mhm.
do.
Indeed.
Yes, yes. Yes, it's very exciting. We are getting ready for well, we're going to be playing Fixation Festival in Detroit on May 9th. And also playing a show in Chicago on wait, am I getting that right? Yes, May 8th. So Friday, May 8th, we're playing Chicago. Saturday, May 9th, we're playing in Detroit. And we're really excited to return to Smalls and to be in the community and to be with everyone. So that's going to be awesome. Yes. Hello to Doug and Jessica and Amia. It's awesome to see y'all on here. Thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Alex. Hello, hello. How
Awesome to
is
have
how
everyone
is
here.
yeah, how
Mhm.
is everyone doing today? What is everyone up to?
What am I up to?
Yeah. And also
Um,
the general
oh, the,
internets. Hello,
the
interwebs.
internets. I'm
Yes.
just telling everyone that we're live right now. So that's what I'm up to.
Oh, yes, yes.
We're live.
Yes.
We are alive. Yes.
Yes, we are alive.
Yes. Thank you for joining
Um,
us. Doug
yes.
is loving your earrings, Hazel.
Yay, thank you. Made by a mutual friend of ours, Bella.
hmm Bella is
I thought they
awesome.
looked familiar.
Yes,
Yeah, she makes some super cool stuff actually, and it's all 3D printed. It's neat. It's neat.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like I confused myself with this stream because we originally were saying that it was going to be at 3, and then we I made the event for 2, and then I forgot that I made the event for 2 and thought it was for 3. So my brain just exploded in the last 15 minutes. So don't mind me.
Yes, explosions.
Yes,
Hmm.
so I'm letting you all know.
It's oh, Jess is eating dill pickle chicken puffs. Mmm. I do love me
Yum.
some. I love pickle anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a pickle
definitely.
problem. I am one of those people that actually drink pickle juice. I'm sorry if that's gross. I am a
Oh
fan.
no, I sometimes I crave that. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. So good.
it's so
It's really
good.
Yeah,
refreshing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Pickles. Have you ever had pickled okra?
Oh, yes, I have. So
So
good.
good. Yeah. Wait, where have you had pickled okra? Have you had it
I
actually
feel
in?
like I feel like I've had it out here from a jar, like a jar from the grocery store or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
something like
because
that.
it's funny because when I try to ask people in California about okra, a lot of people don't know what okra is. I assumed it was like a southern thing. So,
Yeah, definitely. They do have it here. Yeah, we do get fried okra and the pickled okra, and I don't know if I've ever had it fresh, but yeah.
I've never had it. Well, I don't recommend it, but yeah,
Yeah.
every other kind of okra in gumbo or
Mhm.
fried or pickled.
Yeah, so
Yes.
good. So good.
Pickle flavored chips.
Yeah,
pickled
pickled flavored
flavored
chicken dip.
pickles.
I
Pickle.
love dill.
Yes.
I
I
made
love
something
dill
with
too. Yeah.
dill and it's so good, like a chicken dill dish, and it was so good. I was like, this is my
Mmm.
new favorite spice to cook with. Everything now is dill.
I still think about your beef jerky or whatever jerky you made. That was awesome.
I need to make it
Yeah,
again. I'm so glad you were a
yeah,
fan. I really
I'm a
appreciate that.
fan.
It's nice when you make things and people
Hmm.
like it. Like that just there's a certain satisfaction. There needs to be a word for that type of
I know.
satisfaction when you make food that someone enjoys, someone else enjoys. Like,
I'm sure there's a word because like there's a word for everything in
yeah.
cooking food. So there's got to
Yeah, it's
be.
gotta be like a culinary term for
Hmm.
that satisfaction.
Let's see. It's called yum. It's called yummy. maybe. I
It's
don't know.
called.
Yeah. Yummy.
Doug is sharing that his
Mhm.
niece is like that about pickle juice. We used to ask her if she'd like some pickles with her juice. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I
It's
really
a
do
thing.
have a pickle problem. Pickles
The
and
best
hot
kind of
sauce in
problem to have.
general.
Love
As
that.
I mean, I guess there are worse spices, so yes.
Hmm.
If I have a hard day, I just crack open that pickle jar.
Mm. It's so satisfying. It's so
It's like Tosh,
satisfying.
it's like Tosh is hitting the juice again.
Getting the juice again.
Mhm. All right.
Oh, it's so
uh,
cool. So CJ and Don are going to be at our Chicago concert. Oh, and CJ, thank you for pizza time. Don always spoils us with Chicago pizza, and like we love the hangs
It's
and the
amazing.
pizza.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can't wait. It's going to be awesome. CJ is sharing that they weren't a Dill fan until they married a Polish girl. Holy cow, Dill is life. I mean, that is totally the truth. I love
Dill is
putting
totally
Dill in
life.
everything. Yes,
Yeah,
agreed.
so good.
Dill is amazing.
Yes.
You could put it in like
Mm-hmm.
eggs. You could put it in like
Ooh,
whatever.
eggs.
It's awesome.
Mm,
Hmm.
that's gonna happen. Oh, Scott, I've been putting hot sauce on my hard-boiled eggs, and I cannot
Yes.
stop.
I love that you say my name. You're like you think of me when you think of hot sauce and
I
eggs.
did.
So
I totally stole
yeah.
your thing there. I was like, I'm gonna put some sriracha on these hard-boiled
Oh,
eggs,
it's
and now I
freaking
can't
best.
stop.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a
It's
total
like tour
thing.
it's a tour food thing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Scott introduced me to like hard eggs with hummus and sriracha. I
Hmm.
Oh,
didn't know
so
about the
good.
hummus thing. Hmm.
That's smart because it's so much like protein. Or
Yes,
is it protein?
protein. It is
They're
It's
very
proteiny.
proteiny.
Yeah.
It is
There's a
quite
lot of
protein.
protein going on.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, Doug is asking about Chicago, the deep dish kind, indeed. So what's awesome, I did not know that Detroit was known for pizza, until we went there a few tours back and we were introduced to the magic of Detroit pizza. So this is going to be like a Chicago, Detroit pizza duo kind of excursion. So all
Yeah.
the pizza. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Speaking of Chicago and Detroit, there's a good chance that we are going to be playing some acoustic shows on the way out there, but it's not going to be all the band members. But yes, more news to come on that.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're actually working because here's the fun part of tour planning. We didn't find out until pretty recently that we were going to be playing these shows. Usually I start booking tours about 6 months in advance because it really takes a lot of time and places get very booked up. So anyway, since we didn't have much time and it's also with everyone's schedule, we were like, okay, how logistically, how do we get from point A to point B and get everyone to fly in? Because
Mhm.
we're all flying in from different parts of the country. So we actually have Nuda joining us again on keys, and she'll be flying in from Seattle, and
Yeah,
Hazel flying in from the East Coast, so flying in from Baltimore, and then we have the other contingent of the band flying in from LA. So all these different points, and we were like, okay, so we still need to get the gear there. So anyway, we were thinking we're gonna do some acoustic shows there and back. We've done some acoustic sets before, like we did one in Bisbee, but it'll be like a kind of an intimate thing. So we're looking at a couple of places that it'll be fun to hang out with any friends. Doug, I think we're actually working on something in Des Moines. So if you're available, I think we're working on May the 8th. So Thursday, May 8th, we'll do like an acoustic set in Des Moines if you want to come hang out with us. And then maybe something in St. Louis. I think we might do something in St. Louis. So, but yeah, like it's really fun. I love doing acoustic stuff because it kind of brings me back to like when I first started playing music outside of the classical realm and I was doing like open mics and coffee shops, and I feel like you can really
Mhm.
hear the songs that way.
Mhm.
Um, like it really just strips everything down and you're like, okay, this is the bare bones of what the essence of the song is. So, um, yeah, I think it'll be very special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
right. Amazing.
I see some more peeps coming in. Hello, Kevin and Micah and Russ. So good to see y'all. Um, Doug is asking if anybody has hot sauce left from Nola.
Yep, I do. I
Yeah.
do. I do.
Is it your one of your go-tos or is it like a special occasion hot sauce?
It's it's a little bit of a special occasion just because I can't really eat it like before work.
Oh boy.
Not work friendly, yes.
So it's like
Is it?
weekend hot sauce, Friday night hot
It must be
sauce.
really, really spicy. Oh man.
It
Is
does
it
not
like you
agree
just can't?
with me, but it's good.
Oh, I see. Right. You're like at work and trying to hit those high notes, and all of a sudden you're like,
It
well, I
was
guess that's not
I'm
happening.
like, I have to, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh man.
I've actually it's interesting because I heard from somebody that like she liked drinking coffee before singing like super high things. So
To get hyper.
yeah, I guess so.
So funny. I could see that.
So, oh, and Tom is asking if at the Crack Fox again. I think we're going to aim for that. So, fingers crossed. We have to kind of figure that out, but we will definitely keep y'all posted. We love the Crack Fox. It's such a beautiful community and feels like home and family there. So, like that's I think what we're kind of hoping for if we can work it out. So, but yeah, we will let y'all know for sure. Yeah, I feel like that'd be a great place to have an acoustic set. So, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, yes. Yeah, so good to see our friends. Hello to Ronnie the robot. You are a beep boop beep robot.
Wait, what?
Hello. Yes,
Where's
yes.
Ryan?
Ronnie is on Facebook. Yes, I do feel like we have our robot days for sure. We go through the motions. Hello to Miko and yes. Russ, I hope you're doing well as also. Anil is giving Hazel some love on the hair.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Did it myself.
Yay.
Mhm.
Yes. Teddy is asking about any North Dakota or Minnesota shows getting lined up. Not this round, but we definitely would love to make that happen in the future. So, yeah, we had to be very like strategic in terms of figuring out like how do we get people to fly in, play the shows, and then fly out. So it's a very, very quick little jaunt. I guess we could call it like a little mini tour. So not this round, but we will definitely work on that in the future. We've loved
Yeah.
playing Minnesota, and we've never played North Dakota, so we are overdue for that.
Hmm.
North Dakota. Actually, we played North Dakota as Mankind is Obsolete, and I remember playing in this big, uh, like cavern of a venue inside of a cave. That's all I
Oh,
remember.
it's like a cave. It was like almost like an airplane
Hmm.
hangar or something. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very cool. So Kevin is asking if we're doing lefties again. I'm not sure. I wasn't sure how it would go over like with the acoustic set because it's going to be very stripped down. Usually when we play at lefties, it's like bells and whistles, and we have like belly dancers and fire, and it's amazing. And this time it's going to be like, here's my little piano and a guitar.
Yeah.
But I think it might be actually at a bookstore or a coffee shop. So, but we will keep you posted on that. Yes. And Tom is saying that Captain Janeway beckons. Yes.
Yes, that is the facts.
Yes.
Yeah. She's waiting for us in
At the Crack Fox.
where is it? At the Crack Fox.
Crack
Yeah, she's
Fox.
upstairs.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
For those of you who are fellow
Mhm.
Trekkies, we happen to absolutely adore Captain Janeway. And there's a cardboard cutout of her in the backstage at Crack Fox, which is awesome. Yeah.
Definitely.
Aw. So Teddy was saying that I put up the flyers that we sent and got lots of questions about you guys. Thank you so much for doing that. That's awesome. Really appreciate your help and support. Amia's asking if I have any pet pandas yet. Only in my dreams and in my stuffies. One day though, I want to visit like a panda sanctuary and hold a panda. Like do a little panda caregiving for the day. That would be amazing.
Hmm.
You could be a
Yeah,
panda handler for a day.
I would love to be a panda handler. Actually, that's a dream job. That would be a dream job for me.
Mm.
I don't know. If you guys had a like a dream animal job, I have a feeling what you're gonna say, Hazel, but what would you do?
I really want to have a parrot rescue, although it's hard, you
Mm,
know. I've talked about it too, like maybe being in a retirement kind of thing. So yeah, I'd like that. But I also want to meet the penguins at the Baltimore Zoo because they have a penguin encounter experience.
Whoa.
So
really?
I'm like
Whoa.
trying to find some time to go up there and do the penguin experience where you get to spend 30 minutes with the penguins.
That's so
Wow.
cool. Oh my gosh. I wonder like what would you do when you hang out with the penguins?
I guess you get to
Inquiring
take
minds.
pictures with them and feed them and they probably just let you interact with them for a little bit and they probably don't smell great, because they're fishy, but I'll take it. I'll take it. You're so cute. So cute. Oh.
Aw. So Sarah and Lady the cat Schuldlos, I hope I'm saying that right, is from Ohio and wondering if we are coming to Cincinnati soon. Um, not on this particular mini tour, but we definitely have it in our sights. I tried to actually get Cincinnati on our fall tour, and that didn't work out, but that is definitely on the bucket list of places we would love to visit. So, yeah, we will let you know when we're able to make it out there for sure. Yes, yes, yes. Um, ooh, uh, Shiki is mentioning wolves. That would be an amazing thing to visit, a wolf
Mhm.
sanctuary. Yeah. How about you, Scott?
Oh, in terms of like visiting animals,
Yes, if you could have a dream job working with animals.
I would do. I mean, speaking of penguins, I really love penguins too, but I would like to go to Antarctica to actually like hang out with them,
That
sort of
Yeah,
March of the
that would be
Penguin
amazing.
style, and
That would be
That'd
pretty
be
amazing.
yeah.
just sort of like observe and do my own little narration too. That would be pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think that the emperor penguins are amazing.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. I loved March of the Penguins. That was such a beautiful
Such
movie.
a great movie. Oops.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got to
Um,
love Morgan Freeman. I mean, there's just something so soothing about his voice.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
I think him and
yeah.
David Attenborough are my two favorites when it comes to like narration.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
There's
kind of like my go-to soothing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
oh, that's okay. You could go.
No, no, no. I don't remember now.
That just made me think about there's a series called Calm on I think it's Netflix or something. But there's all these celebrity narrators for these like really awesome like 30 or 40 minute like serene like things. So there's one that's narrated by Keanu Reeves, which is actually really good. Uh,
Cool.
I forget he's like there's these people constructing wooden boats in the woods. And it's just like really soothing, and I didn't know that Keanu Reeves could do that. So,
That's
anyways.
great.
So we're getting a question from Parish Knight. Which acts or artists do we cite as particular influences? Among others, you sometimes make me think of Mazzy Star. That's awesome. That's a high compliment. Thank you. Um, Hazel, do you have any particular influences you would like to
Influences?
share? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love Bjork, and we do a cover of Bjork. So that's really fitting. Yeah, and oh, so many influences. I love electronic music, so in general, electronic music, and I also love folk music. I love newgrass too, like Gillian Welch, and I love folk music like Ani DeFranco. And yeah, so I have a broad spectrum of influences for sure.
How about you, Scott?
Yeah, in terms of influences, like when I first started playing music, Um, I think the music that really sparked a fire in me to want to play is a combination between Pink Floyd, Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine. Like these are bands that I was sort of growing up with at the time, and it just sort of got embedded into my DNA. And it's always that was like the original influence for me. But like going to modern day, there's some like really amazing bands out there. But recently, I got into a band called Sleep Token, which is actually influencing how I'm approaching guitars for some of our new music. So definitely
Mm.
like keep that in mind when you listen to some of the stuff that we will be working on, that we will be putting out. Um, yeah, I mean, there's just so much good music out there. It's so hard now because there's like a million bands and they're all at your fingertips. So
Mhm.
it's both good and bad.
It's true.
Yeah, speaking of new music, it's a tangent, but relates. We actually have a new song coming out March 21st. It's a collaboration with our friends in XRL7 in the UK. Our friend Mike wrote this really awesome song, and he has this really cool pixel art animation channel on YouTube, and made an episode that he wanted us to do a song for. So that's definitely very influenced by Sleep Token, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sleep Token and
definitely.
Poppy, I think those are definitely some strong influences for sure. Um,
Yeah,
Little birthday massacre thrown in. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're excited to share that out. Um, yeah, those are definitely some influences. I feel like I'm gonna throw in Aurora into the pot because I'm
Mhm.
kind of Aurora obsessed lately. I just saw
Mhm.
her in concert and she was just stunning. Just beautiful voice, beautiful, powerful music that really, really touched me. Yeah, I don't know. I think just like music that just touches my heart, which I feel like it's pretty easy to do. I feel like like music is an expression of the heart. So,
Mhm.
I like all kinds of music, to be honest. Like I'm pretty indiscriminate when it comes to music. Like I feel it. So yeah, it's one of my favorite parts, I think, about live music and touring, is just getting to discover like new bands and new artists. And so I feel like it's sort of like it goes from day to day. It depends on the day. Like some days I'm like, okay, I need to hear something like super high energy that just gets me going. And some days I'm like, I need to hear like something very ambient. But yeah, I like all the influences that Hazel and Scott talked about, and also throwing some Aurora in there. So yeah,
Yeah. Aurora's great.
yeah.
Highly recommend for sure.
we
Oh,
got a.
this is a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh no, it's okay.
No, you.
I was just gonna say I saw a pretty cool question in the YouTube channel by Citra. Your music speaks to me in a very special way. Do you have a favorite song to perform live?
Mm.
Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, that's very special that you resonate with their music. Honestly, it depends on the day. There's certain days I feel like I'm going through something in particular, or I know that a certain song like resonates with certain people in the audience. Like maybe they've asked for that song or they've told me about it, how a certain song, like what it means to them. And so like that's my favorite in that performance in that day. So really depends on the day. Like I feel like you know. If I were to say like in general, like I really love performing Breathe, because I just love the multi-percussion. Hazel plays the theremin. I just love like the groove and the like the feeling of it. And I also love For Dead for that reason. Like having that drum breakdown is so fun. And it
Yeah.
feels very powerful. It feels very cathartic. Love is Forever is also another favorite. So
Mhm.
yeah. How about y'all? Do you have favorites?
I like Left for Dead. Yeah, for Dead is like my favorite for sure because it's so high energy and all the drums and everything. So yeah, that's the best.
Awesome. Scott,
Mhm.
Scott, do you have?
Um, yeah, I mean, I like Love Is Forever. I think that's one of my favorite ones to perform live, and it's always like usually I like do it at the end of the set. It's usually our last song, and it's just like super cathartic and it feels good when you play it. So, you know, by then, like the audience, usually is all happy and excited and all that fun stuff. So it's a lot of reciprocal energy that happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. Saying hello real quick to Natalie and Mavis and Dennis. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Ronnie is asking what our future plans are. So besides the new song release, March 21st, and our show dates that we're playing in May, we do have like a fall tour in the works. We're going to be playing Absolution Fest in Tampa. For those of you who weren't familiar, that the festival unfortunately got canceled because of the hurricanes this past fall. So we're doing a redo this year, and also planning another New Orleans excursion out of that. Some shows, but also we're going to be finishing up our As Above, So Below double album, and making some music videos and creating. That's kind of on deck for this year. And hopefully connecting with y'all more and getting to see you guys in person because it's always very special to get to hang out and music together live. So that's the hope for this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, Parrish is saying the sound engineering is incredible. You sometimes felt like you were surrounded by the band. That's all Scott. Scott is the producer for Alice,
Oh man,
so
well, I appreciate it. I yeah, I guess when I sit and I'm mixing all the music, like just one thing, I just want to mention one thing about my own process, which is for me, we combine electronic and live instruments a lot. But for me, like the thing that like really makes a track, an Alice track come alive is like when you start introducing all the live instruments. So like there's this contrast between sort of like the digital domain versus all the analog stuff. So obviously the vocals, there's something like I love to just pan them everywhere. There's always like at least 3 or 4 vocal tracks for per one voice. So like whenever you hear someone singing, there's usually like little like layers under and over. There's harmonies tucked in there, so that probably gives you the feeling of being surrounded. And plus the drums, it's like my very one of my favorite things to mix is like stereo drums. It's the best. So yeah.
yeah, it's really, really amazing to hear it all come together. So when we were working on the XRL7 song, Mike originally gave us a demo of like what he had in mind. And then he was just like, okay, you guys get creative, like go. And so what's cool is like each one of us recorded our own parts. And so it's really cool to hear the layers, how they come in, and then how it all ends up coming together. And like Scott mentioned, it's a bike between like how do you take the live instrumentation and combine it with the electronic elements as well. And Hazel, myself, and Gordon all come from a choral background, so that's always really fun. Is like hearing how all the harmonies come together.
Mhm.
It was such a treat when I opened up Hazel's vocal work, and I was like, yes, like it feels like everything becomes 3D. So
Mhm.
yeah, we're super excited about this one. Yeah.
And really quick, we will be playing the final version on our tea time right after this. So for any inner circle people that will be joining us, we'll give it a spin again. So definitely make sure to come hang with us if you're in the inner circle.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, Natalie is hoping to come to NOLA with us this year. That would be amazing. We would love it if you came and
Whoa.
join us. Yeah, NOLA's very special. It's a weekend that we all get to like hang out and spend together. And I love getting to hang out with people beyond the shows because shows are awesome, but it's like you really get like that like real quality time, and New Orleans in particular has a special place in our hearts. So we get to
Mhm.
eat beignets and taste
Yeah,
hot sauce and have excursions, and it is a very fun time. And everybody in the community is just lovely. So,
yeah.
yes.
Speaking of that, if there's enough interest right now already, we could probably open things up for starting to like getting some spots reserved and stuff like that. So I could go back and reach out to anyone right now. If you're like, hey, I want to go, I could send you some information on all the details and stuff. So
Yeah. Um, Ian is saying we should come back to North Carolina. Same with Ronnie. We love it there. I think that's what we're going to try to do in the fall for sure. North Carolina is one of our favorite places to play. We play at the Milestone Club and also at Monstercade in Winston-Salem. So it's awesome. Like we always feel so at home when we play there. So yeah, we'll keep y'all posted when we get those shows together. Yes. And Randy is asking Scott, do you have a favorite plugin for your process?
for mixing, it's funny. It's like I have so many plugins, but I've like got it down to the point where like I really only use like maybe 5 to 10 total, like various plugins that like I've learned them really well. But for anyone who's interested, my personal favorites, like I think for me, like mixing a lot of the times is using compression. So this is like dynamics and EQ. So like, other than volume, because volume is, I feel like the foundational thing when it comes to a good mix is just like, is everything, are you able to hear everything? But
Mhm.
beyond that, so like my favorite plugins for dynamics and EQ, there's the 1176 UAD plugin, and then there's the 1173 EQ plugin. And these are both like really sort of simple, but they emulate really amazing analog hardware and they just sound amazing. So you could like, it just basically makes things sound good. It brings up the levels to like a uniform level. So like a vocal level, when you first record a vocal, like there's a lot of peaks and valleys, and sometimes there's like loud parts and sometimes there's soft parts, and that works great if it's just like a folk music piece or like choral music or anything like that. But when you start like introducing like really loud drums and guitars and that sort of thing, like you want to have dynamics, and you need to have things be at more of a uniform level. So using these plugins really help to get those dynamics up, but also still keep it very musical. So that's like really like honestly not much, and then like beyond that, like reverb and delays, like that's all just taste, like I feel like those are sort of like, like anything could go, right? But yeah, I could talk for hours about that.
Yeah.
I love it. Ronnie is saying my plugins usually have something to do with a wall socket. Me too, Ronnie. It's I love that in a band everybody has like so many, varied talents. I think that's what makes being in a band really special is like everybody, brings their little picnic basket to the table and they're like, "Well, I brought some cheese and I brought some pickles." And in Scott's case, he knows how to use plugins. And
Yeah.
I know how to plug things in, sort of.
Yeah, there's so much awesome, right now. It's so great.
Yeah. So cool. Dusty Chalk is mentioning that they sang in choir, but they read my choir director's book. I have an amazing mentor and choral director that I like to work with. His name is Donald Brinegar, and he's written actually multiple books on singing, like pitch. Like there's a whole science, but like especially when it comes to like pitch and choral singing and harmonies and all of that. And he's been teaching for decades at both USC, UCLA, and just kind of like different choirs all over. So anyway, he wrote a book, and I really appreciate that you read that. That's awesome. Yes, it is. He has definitely been deep guidance for me, an inspiration for sure.
So Dennis was
Aw.
asking what. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
He was asking where the inspiration for the Swamp Thing cover that we did come from.
So we had some friends actually. It's funny, we've had a lot of covers that we've done. That have been suggested by friends, and they're like, "Oh, you guys should cover this." We do pay attention when you guys suggest the covers, which is awesome. And that one in particular, we had some friends that were like, "This is an awesome song. I've always loved that song." And so we were like, "Okay, like how do we take it and make it our own?" And so we kind of took an approach of like almost like deconstructing it and making it into I guess yeah, like a kind of an Alice version of it. So. Yeah, it's one of that's actually definitely a favorite to play live as well.
I have a thought about that one too. I could talk
Yes,
for a
yes,
second, if
yes,
that's all right.
yes. Of
So
course.
Swamp Thing originally we worked it out as a live cover, and we actually we learned the song basically verbatim, and this is what happens a lot for Alice covers. So it's like a whole organic process where we'll actually learn the song, and then I forgot, my brain just like but we'll basically learn the song, and we recorded it, and then we just deconstructed it from there, and it was awesome.
Hmm. Yeah.
Basically made a remix of it.
Yeah, I feel like it's like I always learn so much. Like when I learn other songs or learn how to program them. Like when I was in MKIO, one of my first songs that I programmed was Engel by Rammstein. And like so like really like getting deep into it, I was like, wow, this is actually amazing. Like their sounds and their programming and all of that. So yeah, we definitely learn a lot. And it's so fun. Like Alice actually did a really cool project where we worked with a theater group and we did two or three different Bowie albums. I know we did Hunky Dory, we did Diamond Dogs, and then there was like one where it was kind of like a mix of different songs, but and then it was like performed by like different singers and actors and but learning all the songs off of these Bowie albums, it was like you really got a deep appreciation for his songwriting. There's like a deep craft to that. And I felt like it was just like not just inspiring, but educational. It was like, wow, okay, this is that approach. You kind of go into the mindset of that. So yeah.
Well, Murphy is coming from Anchorage, Alaska. Hey Murphy, thanks for
Wow.
joining us.
Thank you. That's
Very
amazing.
cool.
I love Anchorage. So my folks are from Texas, and we took a road trip from Texas to Alaska. So we actually like drove around and went to Anchorage, and it was so beautiful. Like I really loved it there. So it has a special place in my heart. We went in the summertime, so it never really got dark. It was like kind of like dusky during the nighttime. So, but yeah, that was very special.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Uh, Cetra or Ketra, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if we're mispronouncing that. Saying it's wonderful that you all appreciate your fans so much. I appreciate all you do and that you listen to your fans on this live stream, and it speaks, I'm assuming, volumes for the love you have for us. Thank you. Much love back at you. Like we really appreciate that y'all are taking the time to hang out with us and sharing your questions and thoughts and just hanging out with us. It's really lovely. It's why we do what we do. It just brings a lot of joy to us. So I really appreciate it. Tom is asking if we ever saw Chris Connolly's Bowie cover band. No, I did not know this was a
That sounds
thing.
amazing.
That does sound amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
oh crap.
Yes. And Dean is saying that they'd love to see a collaboration with Lizzie Hale. Lizzie Hale. That would be
I
very
think
cool.
that's Hellstrom.
I think so. Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Good man. Oh
Yes.
man.
Yes, yes.
Well, we
Oh, we're
actually have
seeing.
a few. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, we have a few David Bowie covers like that we recorded, we just never released. So that's something that we will get to. It will happen.
Yeah, we do have a few David Bowie covers on in our uh catalog, I guess. I know it's we were actually kind of going through and we're like, oh, there's like a bunch of stuff we haven't released. So yeah, we actually have a cover of Major Tom that we're actually I just finished doing vocals for the other day. So that's going to be next after one of our songs that we're so after the XRL7 song that we're releasing, Say My Name is going to be next, and then we have a cover of Major Tom that we're planning. So yeah,
See,
yes, yes.
I don't know if
So
there's
Dusty,
anyone there that has me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, any specific questions? Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I see that Clint is on there and XRL7 is joining us. So good to see y'all. Thank you so much for joining us.
Clint Carney. Oh wow.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
excited to share the final version of the song just for a few select people on our little upcoming tea time Zoom.
Yeah, it's always interesting, I think, to watch the production come alive. It's like there's so many mixes and going back and forth and and it has to pass the car test and the bad speaker test and
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
and the headphone test and it always sounds different
Mhm.
in each thing and you're like, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Tosh has this like really crappy little speaker that
I love my
everything
speaker.
sounds horrible through it. And it's like everything like I'll be mixing. I'm like, oh, this sounds amazing in every single place, and I'll play on that, and it's like a big pile of poo. And then I'm like, well, I gotta redo that.
Ah, yeah, that's
Yep.
painful. You're
Yeah.
like,
So
why is the sound literally upside down? Like
yeah.
from everything, like now the bass is like really
Mhm.
high, the vocals are buried, everything is just backwards on this.
Exactly.
How do you fix that?
Well, and it's interesting when you're mixing like different instruments and everybody's ears are so different. Like I notice depending on the instrument, like I really of course like hear vocals, I hear keyboards. That's kind of like my ears are tuned for that frequency, whereas like Gordon is really honed in on the bass. So,
Mhm.
and Steve, of course, on the drums. So,
Yeah.
it's like I feel like there's like it's like sort of a back and forth. And then mastering changes everything too.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Mhm.
yeah, which Scott does both. He does the mixing and mastering. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's both a blessing and a curse.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting too because I feel like in a lot of modern production, like things tend to get very squashed in the compression when it comes to the mastering. And I really like I think in general we it's like I love feeling it. I love feeling the dynamics. Like there's a feeling that happens when the song is allowed to breathe a bit. Um, you know, so it's such a bike.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, like it's the truth. Like mastering is like you want it you want your song to sound on the same level as other like produced songs, by sometimes like where there's like, probably much bigger budgets and more like 10 times the amount of engineering and whatever. So it's like you have to compete with that as a DIY band. So it's like, it's definitely a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Oh, let's see. The Dusty Chalk is sharing there's a famous pro audio monitor speaker that emulates cheap and trashy that pros are supposed to use to get to know how their music sounds the way 99% of America will listen to it. That's interesting.
Yeah, called
Yeah.
NF10 speakers. I know
Oh,
those
see,
speakers.
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um,
Parent, what was that?
Oh, Dwayne is saying the hardest thing about mixing is realizing that people won't be hearing the product on the same equipment that you are using in their car or on headphones is not the same as in studio. I have a funny story actually. So Scott was working, I don't remember what song you were working on, but we were all like hanging out in Steve's car and like Scott was mortified. He was like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "I cannot hear this mix. It's awful." And then we found out like all of Steve's bass was turned off. So,
Well,
Yeah.
what he had like a weird, like in your car, like cars these days comes with like all these crazy settings, and he put on some weird setting. Like it was like, I don't even know. It was like no bass and all treble, and Steve was like, there's something weird going on with this mix. I'm like, I swear it does not sound like this. And I was like crying. I was like, this is the
Oh,
worst thing I've ever heard in my
oh,
life. like, I'm like, Steve, is there like a weird setting? And then he like goes through all the menus and then he's like, oh yeah, this is like all messed up. And he turns it off. And it was like the pearly gates of, you know,
of
whatever,
sound.
I don't know, sound.
Yeah, it is crazy because everybody does. I mean, there's no standard, you know, way of listening. Everybody has like their own system.
mhm.
I always feel like things sound great in headphones. Like when I hear anything in headphones, I'm like, this sounds great. So,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's tricky with headphones because it's like you can mix with headphones and things sound awesome, but then when you listen in like regular speakers, they don't sound too good. So you
Yeah.
almost have to, it's a little dangerous to mix in headphones, unless if you really know how to do it. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. It's time
Parrish is
consuming.
saying, the gear these days can really spoil you. It's hard sometimes to listen to music on cheap speakers when you've smoked the good stuff.
I,
Yeah.
my That's a good point. I've been like the main speakers that I've been mixing on are the same speakers, the first speakers I got when I first started mixing back in like 2007 or 2008. Like I actually still use the same speakers, not because they sound amazing, but because I just know what they sound like, you know. And I do have like really nice bigger speakers, but those are more for like referencing different parts of the frequency spectrum for like overall balance. These speakers are just freaking amazing, but they work for me because I know them. So the advice I would give for anyone who wants to mix is to get to know your speakers, listen to as much music as possible on them, and just get a feel for it.
Mhm.
Also know your room because
Mm-hmm.
like this is something I learned. I am by no means like a terribly knowledgeable in this, but I do know that there is something called a bass trap. So depending on where you're sitting in the room, that's where bass frequencies can collect and wreak havoc on your brain when you're like, why is it so bassy? And there's like particular parts in the room that you can sit, and it traps the bass, like little trolls.
Yes, very true.
Yes.
It's very can be very deceptive. Yeah.
Oh, Neil is asking if we're playing in Michigan. We are indeed. We are playing Fixation Festival at Smalls on May 10th. May 10th, Saturday, May 10th. So if you are able to make it out, we would love to see you. That's going to be a very special festival, Cat's Fixation. So yeah, hopefully we will see you there. Um, Micah is asking, what is the most memorable concert or event we've ever played? Ooh.
Mhm.
As a
I'm like,
band or just like as performers, like in any band.
maybe both. I don't know. Scott.
Yeah. Oh man. It's so hard because there's like so many different memorable events. It's like we Alice played Anime Expo, which is like this yearly annual event that like it's just like the anime event, I think. there's like 250,000 people there, and we got a chance to play there like every year for like a series of years, and each time it was like in front of around 5,000 people. And the only caveat, I would say is that it was actually just we were doing like covers of anime music, which was really fun and very educational.
Mhm.
We did get to do a few of our original songs, which is awesome. But with that said, like it's just crazy when you have that amount of people in a room. Um, but then some of my favorite shows are like the smallest ones. The Milestone Club in North Carolina always comes to mind because it's just like it's the most punk rock place in the world, and like every single band has played there since the late '60s, I think. Like literally every band, big and small, that you can think of. Um, and so when you play there, it's like you feel the history of the room, and then it's always like really an awesome vibe there, and people get really into the music, and you just feel like you're part of the musical history of whatever. I don't know, it's crazy. So that's my
Yeah.
How about you, Hazel? You've played so many amazing, amazing concerts and shows. Like, do you have any in particular?
Oh, that is a really hard question.
Yeah.
I mean, for our shows, like I really in my mind is the Shady Grove festivals kind of burnt in my mind just
Mm.
because it had such a
yeah.
classic like outdoor festival vibe and um I liked that. I like that. That really sticks in my mind as a really cool one. For the other stuff, gosh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, um, oof, that's almost impossible to answer.
I know.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Not
It
an easy
depends on the
question.
criteria. Criteria of what you're asking is good, like, I don't know. Like how
I
many
know it's
people were
interesting because it's,
there
yeah, I
versus
mean, yeah, because it's like, I mean, large shows are amazing in that sense that there's like this huge scale, but then some of the most memorable ones can be like, I played this private like show for five
Mhm.
people and it was so special. So yeah, like it's I guess it
Yeah.
just depends on like, what your
What's the
measurement would be.
criteria? Yeah, what your
Yeah,
measurement is. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think about like, if I think large scale, Scott mentioned Anime Expo, and that was incredible. It was at the LA Convention Center, and we were playing as one of the headlining bands, and also like in the opening ceremony and closing ceremonies. So like we had our own
Right.
like we did a show dedicated to Cowboy Bebop, and we translated the music from Cowboy Bebop, and it was like a huge production, collaborating with dancers and different artists, and um, we also got to do a show I mean, we played several times at the Anime Expo. Like we did the 20th anniversary of Neon Evangelion, and got to actually work with the original singer from that soundtrack, and that was incredible. I'm just thinking, I mean, that's large scale, but then I think about like, the special like little moments where you're like, and then we got to hang out after the show and eat
Mhm.
cupcakes
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
Like I feel like those are like more like very near and dear to my heart because the large scale, it's like you're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then, but it's like the little moments. Like I think about like when I travel and I take pictures of like, the Grand Canyon, for instance, and it's beautiful. But then when I look through my photos, it's always the pictures of the people, like the actual like people that really are the ones that I rest my eyes on, where I'm like,
Mhm.
this was that special moment where we all were sticking our tongues out at the camera.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's some good shows.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I think about actually when we got to perform in Algeria. And this was actually as MKO, but I consider it kind of an extension of Alice. It was part of the Alice project. And this was like through the US State Department. And it was that experience that influenced us writing Breathe. And I was just it was like an amazing experience to experience a completely different culture, different music, and but realize that music was so universal. It was like if we couldn't speak the same language, like we would jam, and like it was like uh, we said so much in the music, and that was kind of like for me very memorable to realize that, music is its own language, and it's something that, everybody feels on some level, like, and it goes beyond words.
Yeah.
Uh, Mavis is sharing that her favorite show was also The Saddest, seeing MKO and Alice back to back with so many other special people.
Oh,
That was a memorial show for our friend Jonah who had passed, and we had created the song Drown that he had written the lyrics for. And yeah, that was a very, very special, meaningful show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes like a show could be good for so many reasons. That one in particular was like everyone was feeling the same sort of emotions. So like we were all just on the same page. Everyone in the crowd and everyone on stage. It was like we are all the same. So it was really moving.
Sacha is saying that they love Cowboy Bebop. Have we ever heard of Outlaw Star? The song at the end inspired them to become a poet. That's beautiful. No, I need to check that out. I definitely need to check that out. I love the song Blue. That particular like song and show when we were at Anime Expo was really hard for me to sing through because at the time I had found out my mom had stage 4 cancer. And so, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, hold it together, Tosh. And I couldn't make it through the
Mm.
song without just like sobbing. My mom's okay, by the way, just like happy ending. She is in remission now, thankfully. But it was like one of those things where I was like, I felt like the music and the show and everything in Cowboy Bebop like had such deep soul and heart to it. So yeah, definitely will check that out. That Cowboy Bebop in general has a very special place in my heart, and it was such an honor to be able to translate that music.
As a fan of the actual anime, we it was really cool when we got to do it. Just as a side note, because the entire cast of Cowboy Bebop, the voice actors were there, and like we got to like get to know them. In fact, like the main voice behind the main character came out to a few more shows here in LA, and we were always like, "That's so crazy." Anyways,
Yeah,
very cool stuff.
yeah. It is. I think that's one of my favorite
Uh,
parts about being here is and being in the music community in general. It's like getting to collaborate with people and collaborate with people outside of music. I mean, that's always so inspiring.
mhm.
So yeah, yes, yes. Um, I think we were asked about Rocklahoma. I haven't heard of it at the end of August. Thanks so much for sharing that, Mike. We'll definitely look into it. Oh, and thank you so much, Shannon, as well as Amia for the sweet wishes about my mom. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's not it's anybody that has been through the cancer journey, whether it's yourself or somebody that you care about, it's brutal and it's scary. And I'm so grateful that we have modern um, medicine that is able to do so much these days for people where maybe like who knows, like 10, 20, 30 years ago, maybe that wasn't the same. So there's so much now that we can do for people, and I'm really grateful for that. So. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yes.
definitely good stuff there, you
Yeah. Yeah.
got.
Yeah. Well, if there are any more questions, we're here. Um,
Yeah, feel free to ask any more right now. Otherwise, we'll probably get over to the tea time.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Well, Um, thank you all so much for taking the time to hang out with us and to touch base with us. This is something that we absolutely love to do. It's so wonderful to feel like we're all virtually here in the space in the space of madness of Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
The Mad Hatter
Yes.
Army, if you will.
Yes.
But yeah,
Um,
yeah.
oh, Dusty is saying that they would love to hear us cover Inner Universe by Yoko Kanno. I'll have to put
Cool.
that on our bucket list. Yes. Yeah.
Didn't we didn't we meet Yoko? Or
hmm We did.
yeah, we like totally like
Yeah. That was
collaborated with
that
her
was
for
that was for Neon Evangelion. I was so
yeah,
intimidated. It was so intimidating. I mean, she was incredible. Just she sounded as amazing as you think she would live. She was incredible. But yeah, it was so in LA there's a voiceover studio called Bang Zoom. And that's where we were having our rehearsals. And so like I remember meeting her for the first time. And she didn't speak English too well, but again, music is universal. And so like getting to work with her, I was like, oh my gosh, I am not worthy.
yeah. And
Yes.
that's when we also played with Iru Matsumoto, who just got a freaking Grammy like
Yeah, she
just
just won
this
a
year. I was like,
Grammy.
oh crap,
It's amazing.
crazy.
Yeah. Iru's a cello
Yeah,
player. And so yeah, she played with us at Anime Expo. Also played on Willow by the Sea on our Alice Underground album. So that's a
yeah,
fun fact. Yeah. Iru was
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah. So yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah, we hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful real quick, last question. Neil has asked if we've ever been asked to do a charity event. We've done many. We've done charity events, we've done charity albums. Yeah, it's one of those things that it's always wonderful to be able to contribute. So yeah, we have indeed many things. I can't even list it. But yes, we've taken
Yeah,
part. Yeah. So
yeah, quite a few.
well. Well, my dear friends, yeah, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, rest of your Sunday. Sending much love to all, and we will see you on the flip side.
Yeah, see you in tea
Bye,
time.
everyone.
We'll send out
Thank you very
information
much.
to our tea time people and um, see you in a second. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.